Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I got another snowblower to work on, so let's get to it. The first thing we're going to do is take the recoil off and fix that because I think the teeth that grab onto the flywheel are a bit worn out and we're going to have to change them. So let's do that. Alright, so to remove the recoil, this part right here, there's 4 3/8 bolts, so there's one here, there, and there. I'm going to take those out and then we can take this off. Alright, so I got the recoil off. Here are the bolts, and this is the little thing that attaches onto the flywheel. So I think all I have to do is take out this screw, which is a Robertson, and then pop this out and then put this back in. So let's see. Unscrew this, like that much. And then I can't tell if this thing is still good or not. Sorry about the fan in the background. That's what it looks like. I think it goes in just like this. And now we're going to tighten the screw back down. And okay. So I think this is actually broken. So I'm going to go on the internet and see if I can get a new one. But let me just mess with this for a few more minutes. Alright, so while we wait for the part to come in the mail, we're going to flip this up and we're going to lubricate the shifter because this is locked. It won't shift the machine. So we're going to tip it up on its end and get the pan off the bottom. Also, you're going to want to tighten the fuel cap pretty tight in the oil as well because it'll leak out. So to remove this, it's just like on the bigger machine that we just worked on. There are, I believe, 6 bolts. This one's pretty rusted, so I'm probably going to have to make another one or just leave it. So let's get those out. Looks like our machine came with the mouse nest, so that's fine. And our problem is with this right here. So as you can see, the drive disc looks fine. We're going to have to clean this, but this looks fine. So the problem we're having is this isn't sliding back and forth on the shaft nicely. So we're going to have to loosen it with a hammer a little bit and some oil. And you might want to cover this with a rag because you don't want to get any oil on this because then this rubber wheel will slip on this and it won't drive. So I'm going to spray some penetrating oil up here where it lubricates it, and then we're going to try to shift it a lot and see what happens. Alright, so I've now freed up the shifter and I'm going to apply a little bit of grease onto each side of the shaft here and a little bit on the gear. And you might want to get some brake cleaner or this carburetor cleaner to clean off this wheel here. It helps a lot. Alright, so to grease that shaft, I have some gloves on, as you can see. And I'm going to put a little bit of grease on a screwdriver and smudge it on there. Then I'm going to use my finger and kind of like brush it on. And then we're going to shift it a little bit and then do each side of it. Alright, so I've greased it, and this is why we wear gloves, because it's dirty. So let me just explain to you what I did. So I've added grease to this hexagon shaft on either side, and I've slid the shifter back and forth a lot. And I also greased the gears here, so it's nice and smooth. And I applied white lithium grease down there and over here on this wheel. So now what we're going to do is clean the mouse nest off that cover and put it back on. And then we're going to drain the fuel out of the tank because this looks pretty bad, and yeah. Alright, now we're going to drain out the old gas. So I've closed the valve and I loosened the hose off here. So we're going to hopefully try to catch all the gas in this container and then see what it looks like after. Looks like nothing's coming out of there. So I have a hose that we're going to hook up to the valve, and then we're going to drain that into our container, which this is now leaking out of there. So yeah. Just going to catch this into there. Okay, it looks like it's done. So now I'm going to get my little hose here, put it on up here, maybe. Alright, so it's the fun part. We're going to see what color the gas is, and we're going to take off the lid so we can get maximum airflow. There we go. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, it's dirty. Ooh. That's like all water and gas. So yeah. The gas is looking pretty yellow in this container, so it's a good thing we drained it out. And it looks like we're done. So I'm going to tip the machine backwards to make sure we get it all. Yeah, there's still more in there. Check that out. That is some nasty fuel, man. Jeez. There you go, my pliers. All right, it's done draining out, so we're gonna turn this off and reconnect this. All right, now we're gonna check for sparks. So I have a socket on the end of my drill, and I'm gonna spin the engine over, and you're gonna have to watch right in there. I'll try to zoom it in if I can. So let me just do that real quick. Yeah, so you're gonna want to watch right there, and I'm gonna make sure the switch is. Let me make sure the switch is on. It is, and the key's in it. So let's just spin her over. Sweet. Well, I think maybe we could see if it'll start with my drill. All right, so I'm gonna turn you guys off for today because it's dark out, and I want to see if I can get parts so we can move forward. So see you guys in a couple days when I hopefully have the parts. All right, you guys. So it's the next day. Off camera, I've rebuilt the carburetor, and we're now going to put it back on. So it helps a lot if you have one of these ratcheting wrenches like this. And for this engine, you need a 3/8 to hold it on the back, then a 7/16 for the front. So what I'm gonna do is just do it by hand like this, pretty good. And you might want to wear gloves because it's pretty dirty. So I'm just gonna go like this until I get it snug, and then I'm gonna do this one, and I'll put pictures in after this clip of me rebuilding the carburetor. And I'll tell you guys where I got the parts, and yeah. So let me just do this. So yeah, you get the idea. Also, when you're tightening these bolts, do them like evenly, so don't do one all the way, and then do the other one. Do like a little bit here, a little bit there, and then go back and forth until you get them nice and tight. Oh, and I also took off this cover just to make it easier, so I unscrewed the wire from, right there where my finger is. So I would recommend doing that because it makes this a lot easier. All right, now we're going to reconnect our fuel line. And also, when you take off the linkage here for the carburetor, you might want to mark the hole where it came from with a Sharpie. That's what I did. That kind of helps me out. So to get this on, we're just going to squeeze it here, push it back, and then pull it on there. And then I'm going to get, actually these pliers will work for the clamp. No, they won't. We need these ones. Need these other pliers to grab our clamp and then squeeze it on. Before we go outside and start this, I'm going to remove the fuel tank and drain it out. And then you're going to want to make sure the throttle works. And I'm going to get some lubricant, this, and spray it on the throttle thing here. Just so, you know, keep it nice and free. And there we go. And make sure that the tab down here where my finger isn't broken, or else the machine won't shut off. And I'm going to change the primer line off camera in a couple days because I don't have any. So to start it up for the video, I'm going to get the old piece and then just kind of like hang it off the side here. It's good enough. All right, now we're going to reattach the cover. So we're going to leave that dangling over there. And we need to connect the wire. But first we need to slide the choke through the hole in the cover. So let me move you over here so you can see what I'm doing. So we'll move that over there. And then just kind of put the throttle down. Go like that. It's a little tricky. It might take a couple tries. I'm gonna get a 5/16 and tighten up the nut right there, and the 2 Phillips screws right there. Then for the screws, just got a Phillips screwdriver and put them in. Try not to cross thread them, but whatever. I also fixed the pull start. Sorry, I fixed the pull start off camera, and all we have left to do now is slide on the choke knob here. So just go like this. somehow kind of lined up with the slot that's already in it. Make sure it turns. Make sure this works. It does. Okay, now I'm gonna go drain the gas tank out, and we're going to put fresh gas in it and start it up. So there's all the old gas that I drained out of the tank. It was pretty bad. A lot of water in it, so we're gonna take it outside and start it up. Also, there is a little bit of this gas in the tank still that I couldn't get out, so it might run pretty bad for a little bit, and then it'll clear out. So let's go outside and gas it up and put some additive in there. All right, so I gassed it up, and after we run it for a little bit, we're going to change oil because it looks pretty dirty, as I'll show you here. So, yeah, let's see if this thing works. All right, sorry about the dog in the background, whatever. So I gotta turn on the gas actually, so there we go. We're gonna go full choke, a little bit of throttle, gotta put the key back in it. Almost forgot that part. And it's leaking gas, so okay, let me fix that. All right, let's see if it works. I have my rag under there to catch all the drips. So we're gonna go a couple primes, and let's see. Let's see if it'll restart. It does leak a bit of gas. I'm gonna have to get a new bowl, but oh well. All right, let's start it up one more time to see how it runs on like idle. Need more gas there. All right, now we're gonna drain the oil because it's dirty and we ran it for a while to warm it up. So I have a tray here and a couple wrenches. And I have a pair of vice grips holding the output thing because it spins. Here's our dirty oil. So that's good. So I'm gonna let this drain out and then we're gonna add new stuff. Alright, now I've got our fresh oil, and this engine takes 21 ounces, so we're gonna pour that all in. So yeah. I did flush it out a little bit with a little bit of gas just to kind of clean out all the old metal contaminants and stuff. So, yeah. I'm gonna dump all this in there and start it up again. And probably run the carburetor out of gas because it drips. And I gotta get a new bowl, so yeah. Alright, now we're going to start it one more time to kind of burn off all the gas that's in the carburetor so that it doesn't leak in my garage. So let's turn the gas off actually. So I think, wait, it is off, okay. So we're going to go choke, throttle, no primes. One prime. Choke. Oh, the recoil broke. Well, I gotta fix that. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this video. You guys, hope you liked it. In the next video, we're gonna start maybe painting this, water brushing it, so we'll see. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.